Hello, guys. Hello, family. Good to be here again. Thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, we give you the best and trending, most exciting, reliable, and authentic happenings. And we all know that there's been tension lately regarding the Edo State election, just because the election is closer than we think, and every day the election keeps getting closer. And we hope that the election will actually be tension-free and also violent-free. And we hope that the Edo State youths have chosen wisely and hope that they act wisely, because this report is actually about them. Have they really decided to act wisely? All of that we'll find out in this report. And before then, guys, if you haven't subscribed, please do, and also give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to turn on your notification bell so that you get notified anytime we drop a new video. Okay, guys, let us dive right into the details and see what the Edo youths are up to. As the Edo governorship election gradually approaches, the deployment of youth to rage election violence may resurface like invoked masquerade. Arguably, the freedom to exercise legal franchise by citizens during elections have been more often than not smothered by the incessant involvement of thugs in modern-day Nigerian election. The speculations of thuggery attacks allegedly sponsored by one political party against the other is currently or certainly not more but mere handiwork of the political party, who are either accusing or being accused of employing thugs. Sadly enough, this is only achievable through the instrumentality of gullible brainwashed youths who derive their motivation from enticing stipends and sometimes false hopes given by politicians. Going by these parameters of becoming leaders presented by aspiring politicians, are the youths learning rightly enough to become leaders of tomorrow? Political thuggery is a plague that has over time eaten into the fabrics of Nigerians' electioneering processes and unfortunately almost gaining unavoidable adoption into the system by politicians. Regrettably, some politicians' contesting capacity in an election tends to be measured by the level of their intimidating and oppressive influence proffered by all means possible. Truly speaking, no sane person having been aware of the life-threatening consequences of thuggery would indulge in such criminality to audaciously and regularly, if not empowered and encouraged by some political prided elements who possess some sort of social and political influence. The sting of thugs' involvement in elections and campaigns activities by politicians has deprived the citizenry of confidence in their leaders, no matter how saintly they may portray themselves. Whenever election period approaches, an average Nigerian could only immediately sense the re-emergence of tolerated violence. In fact, it would be tagged as strange if there are no stories of ballot box snatching here and there after every electioneering exercise in Nigeria. Unfortunately, the supposed leader of tomorrow are often the sacrificial tools. How would one expect the society to be void of miscreants when year after year, young vulnerable Nigerians get misled into handling firearms during elections, who thereafter remain indoctrinated into criminal perpetration for lack of gainful employment? It seems in Nigeria we are way too credulous when it comes to being convinced to accept and support political leaders, irrespective of dented characters of incredibility which some politicians possess. We oftentimes easily forget their ungodly deeds and become overwhelmed by their sublime speeches when they are making promises, believing they could turn an angel overnight. It will only take Nigerians, especially the youth, to decide to have a say in election of leaders by putting an end to election thuggery and violence. If the youths of the nation Nigeria want the voice and choice of the masses to prevail, then the decision to not become thugs to any desperate politician must be deliberate. The September 19 election in Edo State is not a do-or-die affair, but certainly a reliable adopted process to achieve good governance and indeed improve the livelihood of the masses. If the people of Edo decides to agree with incredible greedy persons to endure impoverishment in the midst of plenty by electing the wrong leader, they would have no one to blame. From the inception of democracy in Nigeria, enough lessons have been learned over the years from past elections and emerging leaders. And so, Edo youths ought to know that no matter how enticing debate might be or seem, it is never worth mortgaging the destiny of Edo people. I can make bold to say that the youths of Edo are wiser now and are certainly not going to fall victims of political thuggery this time around. We hope that will be the case of the young youths in Edo State, because of course we all know that the state is already in tension and the youths are the ones being used to cause various forms of violence in the state, and we hope that they become wiser, because of course they are the leaders of tomorrow, whether they like it or not. And the only way they can take over government, the only way they can become leaders, is to become responsible today. And if they fail to be responsible today, it's going to keep affecting the generations yet unborn, because of course the recent generation has to take their place, because we still see very old and haggard politicians still in government and not ready to leave, just because our youths of today are not responsible and ready enough to take over power. And until they are wise enough to understand that hard work pays, that is when government can be transformed. And the minute youths of today understand that it is the handwork that gives you power, because the only thing that can give you power is money. And if you're not gainfully employed, if you don't have something to do, it means you can be used and you can be vulnerable to be used as a thug, because that is the only way you feel and you see that you can make ends meet and you can make headway. And with doing that, you are jeopardizing your own future as a youth of this nation. And not just your own future, you're also jeopardizing the future of your children yet unborn. How can the youth of Nigeria become more useful? It is just for them to get themselves into something, because of course the leaders we have today have already failed us. Our leaders have failed us. A lot of things have gone wrong in the society. So the only way the youths of today can take over and to move into the circles of these politicians or is just to work harder and ensure they break their circles and enter into the circles without violence, but with pride, with hard work and persistence and patience and resilience. They are going to get there. I just hope you enjoy this very piece, and we hope that Nigeria gets better on a daily basis, and we hope that our youths become wiser and wiser by the day. So guys, you heard it all right here. We hope that all will be well with the Edo State election. Don't forget to drop your comment and also give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Have a pleasant time. Bye for now.